A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic escalation of federal power, President Donald Trump's administration has taken unprecedented steps to assert control over law enforcement in Washington, D.C. amidst a backdrop of historic lows in violent crime. The president's decision to activate National Guard troops and attempt to install a federal emergency police commissioner has sparked a heated legal battle and raised questions about the implications for local governance. As federal troops patrol the National Mall and neighborhoods, the situation unfolds as a critical test of the boundaries of presidential authority in a congressionally established federal district. The recent actions come as President Trump announced his intention to take control of Washington's police department, citing a need to reduce crime. However, District of Columbia officials argue that such measures are unnecessary, pointing to statistics showing that violent crime in the district has reached its lowest levels in 30 years. The president's aggressive approach to law enforcement has raised eyebrows, with many asking whether the administration's actions are justified or politically motivated. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser initially showed little resistance to the federal presence, even allowing city workers to clear homeless encampments and collaborate with federal immigration agents. However, the situation escalated when the city sought an emergency court order to block Trump officials from placing a federal official in charge of the D.C. police. This legal maneuver set the stage for a significant showdown in the courts. On Friday, the Trump administration agreed to leave the current police chief in control of the department, following a lengthy court battle. U.S. District Judge Ana Reyes indicated that while the law likely does not grant the administration the power to fully take over the city's police, it does provide the president with more authority than the city might prefer. This ruling highlights the complex legal landscape surrounding the governance of D.C., where federal oversight is more pronounced than in other cities. The confrontation in Washington represents a broader trend in President Trump's administration, which has sought to test the limits of executive power in relation to local law enforcement. By leveraging obscure statutes and declaring a state of emergency, the administration aims to accelerate its tough-on-crime agenda and increase federal involvement in policing. Critics argue that this strategy could lead to mass deportations and further entrench federal authority over local matters. Approximately 800 National Guard troops have been activated, with visible military presence around key locations like the Washington Monument and Union Station. While the White House asserts that these troops are not making arrests, their role in supporting law enforcement raises concerns among residents about the militarization of policing in the Capitol. The president has also indicated that one of the objectives of this deployment is to relocate homeless individuals from the city, a move that has drawn criticism and protests from local communities. Trump's authority to maintain this federal presence extends for 30 days, with the possibility of an extension pending congressional approval. However, the willingness of Republican lawmakers to support such a move remains uncertain, adding another layer of complexity to the ongoing situation. The increased police presence has sparked protests from D.C. residents, many of whom view the administration's actions as a troubling echo of historical narratives that have unjustly targeted predominantly Black communities. As the situation continues to develop, the implications of Trump's actions could extend beyond Washington, D.C. Observers are left to wonder whether this approach could serve as a blueprint for federal intervention in other cities, particularly those with Democratic leadership. The tension between local governance and federal authority is at the forefront of this unfolding drama, raising critical questions about the future of policing in America and the balance of power between state and federal governments. In conclusion, the ongoing scenario in Washington, D.C. serves as a pivotal moment in the discourse surrounding law enforcement and federal authority. As the city grapples with the implications of these developments, the nation watches closely, aware that the outcome may set a precedent for future interactions between federal and local governments in the realm of policing and public safety. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.